Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm here to talk about one stock and why I think this stock is the best, if not one of the best stocks in the stock market to invest in because of its hidden valuation. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to smash that like button. Also subscribe to the channel. We're on the way to 600 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support. Let's get right into it. So the stock that we are talking about today is Cheesecake Factory, ticker symbol CAKE. I made a lot of videos on Cheesecake Factory. If you guys have watched those, this one I'm going to cover a little bit deeper on why I believe in Cheesecake Factory and cover a little bit more points, but I just have to keep spreading this gospel because Cheesecake Factory is way too undervalued, and they honestly have had, like, not a lot, but a teeny bit of a drop off. This past 3 months, they're down a percentage point, and then even this past month, they're down 9%. So now is an even better time to get in than before. This stock is insane. Okay, so let's just check the past year. Let's see how they've been doing. They're 52%. They were up around 84%. So this is a stock that hasn't had a lot of trouble gaining, share price. They have a 1.91% dividend yield. Their PE ratio is under 20, it's under 18. If a stock has an under 18 PE ratio, it probably doesn't have a competitive advantage, but that'd be wrong with Cheesecake Factory because they do. When you look at Cheesecake Factory, you think of Cheesecake Factory, the restaurant. That makes sense. That's how you should think about it. But this company needs to rebrand because, look at the segments that they operate in. They're the Cheesecake Factory, obviously. North Italia, a whole different restaurant, a whole different chain, and other Fox restaurant concepts and more than just that. But the Cheesecake Factory restaurant segment offers appetizers, pizza, seafood. So that's just the food that they have. But read this. They have Fox restaurant concepts, and other segments consist of Flower Child brand. Flower Child brand. That is a very important thing to remember throughout this video, is that Cheesecake Factory owns North Italia and Flower Child and Fox restaurant concepts. So these three things, one, two, three, these three things that Cheesecake Factory also owns, not just Cheesecake Factory, is where the money's going to be made. It's hard to know that if you don't read Cheesecake's financial reports or their earnings presentations or their webcasts or anything like that. It's hard to know. Cheesecake Factory doesn't make it easy to know. Their name is just Cheesecake Factory. It looks like that's what you're buying, but that is not the case. And the moment that they switch their branding or it becomes more public knowledge that Cheesecake Factory owns these multiple companies, I think that's the moment when the stock has a PE ratio of 30 or 40 and the stock price seemingly doubles while their revenues and profits are still increasing. So let's get into their earnings presentation and let's see what this company is actually making, how these companies or how these segments of their business are operating. So look at this. They have 216 of the Cheesecake Factory locations. That's their main thing. That's what they've been doing for, around, you see, they founded in 1972. They've been doing this for over 50 years, opening Cheesecake Factory. So they're going to be at 200. North Italia locations. There's 46 North Italia locations. That's nothing to scoff at. That's pretty good. 42 Flower Child locations, and then 52 Fox Restaurant Concepts locations. So that's a lot. That's, pretty much almost 150. It's exactly 140 actually, now that I do the math, compared to their 216 Cheesecake Factories. That's a lot of restaurants. That's, then you would have no idea if you were just investing in Cheesecake Factory and didn't look into it. So what I want to check out is how these restaurants are doing, how fast they're growing, and, where they're at in their growth stages. North Italia. It is a Italian restaurant. If you guys didn't know, maybe you've seen it before even, honestly. I mean, they're pretty popular. They're in a lot of places, more on the West Coast, but they're all around. Unique menu items tailored to local markets, all dishes handmade, serving lunch, dinner, weekend brunch, and weekend happy hour. 25% alcohol mix, average check of $30 to $40 for lunch and then for dinner. They have potential for 200 domestic locations over time. This is probably going to happen. Cheesecake Factory is going to have what they have right now, the cash cow of Cheesecake Factory, except also in North Italia. So they're going to double this Cheesecake Factory. They're going to have 200 locations of North Italia at least. Italian is one of the most popular ethnic cuisines in the United States. They're not lying there. There's an attractive return profile and sales growth, also true, and they're targeting 20% average annual unit growth, so they're growing these at a 20% clip. Great to see. I'm happy with this. I really like North Italia. Flower Child, I like even more. Potential for 700. That's 700 domestic locations over time. A differentiated concept in the growing fast casual dining segment. They have 42 locations in 15 states. They're also targeting 20% average annual unit growth rate. To have 700 locations of something, it's pretty good. You have to be a successful concept to open 700 locations. So I really like where they're going with Flower Child. I think that a lot of money is going to be made with Flower Child. I think this stock is going to mostly be Flower Child. They're going to have the other brands, the other restaurants, but the money that Flower Child is going to bring in, the 700 locations, I mean, that's an insane number. That's an insane estimate, and I think that it's not crazy at all. It's very, probable of what's going to happen. Then they have these Fox restaurant concepts, which is how they find these concepts. That's how they found North Italia. That's how they found Flower Child. They're just trying out new restaurants and seeing what sticks, what doesn't. What works as one location but doesn't work as two. What works as 5 but doesn't work as 10. They're seeing what works, what doesn't work. And that's how they found these great ideas. And I don't think these are the end of their great ideas. I think there's going to be more Flower Childs in North Italia as they come out of Cheesecake Factory and their Fox restaurant concepts. The thing is, Cheesecake Factory can afford to open all of these restaurants up. They have the starting capital. They can afford to take a loss if the restaurant fails, which they don't. But if they do, then Cheesecake Factory can't afford that because they're so cash heavy. That's why. I mean, this company is great. And another thing that helps with this is that there's a rate cut cycle. So you think, rate cut cycle, Cheesecake Factory, how do those two connect? They're constantly opening new locations for all of these restaurants, for Cheesecake Factory, for North Italia, for Flower Child. You see they're testing growth with the Culinary Dropout, Blanco, and then the Henry. They're testing growth for all three of those, and then they have boutique brands, incubation style, where there's a few locations of all of these. So every single restaurant that they're open, they're paying to open that. They're taking out a loan with the bank, which is, at a fixed rate, and what that rate is depends on the interest rate. That depends on the federal rate. So the fact that rates are getting cut, they're going to be able to open a lot more locations for cheaper. I really like to see that. They're going to be paying less interest. That just means more on the top line. Great to see. We see that they opened 2 new Cheesecake Factories, 4 new North Italias, and 6 new Flower Childs in 2025. That's just as of July 2025, by the way. So a lot more to be open. And, the 20% annual growth, they already have 40 of the North Italias. So that's a good amount. They're going to open 8 a year, North Italias. They already have how many? They already have 40 about of the Flower Childs as well. So they already opened 6 this year. I think they might grow faster than 20%. It's going that good. So I really like to see that with these new restaurants. We see the financial performance. Let's look at the Cheesecake Factory. We see the Cheesecake Factory is continuing to bring in money, but it's not growing at a crazy rate. And that's not what I'm expecting when I invest in this stock. That's not what you should be expecting when you invest in this stock. You should not be expecting for some crazy, 20% AI-driven growth rate with Cheesecake Factory. At the end of the day, this is a restaurant company. But there's a lot of money to be made in this company. So I think that, you do want to diversify your portfolio as well. So if you're very tech heavy, adding some cake to your portfolio wouldn't hurt. North Italia, we see this is down, actually, in Q2 2025, but I'm not worried at all. I think it's because they're opening so many locations and, the overhead for that is high. It is. So the fact that, North Italia is even able to not be down more than that, I'm very, happy with. I think that that's a very good spot to be at. Fox Restaurant Concepts, they're actually up a good amount because they were negative 4% over in 2024. Now they're positive 2%. So that's about 6%, which in the restaurant industry, that's pretty good growth. And the amount of locations that they're opening and everything still in the growth stage and getting that kind of growth, I love to see that. So their total revenue is $956 million. This is up 6% from the past year, so not horrible. But the thing is, the growth rates are not going to be insane right now while the Cheesecake Factory is building out these new expansions of these restaurants. While they're building, look at this, the North Italia, the Flower Child, the Fox Restaurant Concepts. While they're building these, the growth rates aren't going to be crazy. Just because you have to take out so much money, it's such a big upfront cost to open new restaurants, and everyone knows that. But while they're in these early stages of growth, this is where you invest. This is where you put money into Cheesecake Factory while they're in these early stages, and then you as the buyer, get benefits from investing in the early stages and holding on through their growth stages to where they actually start making a lot of money. So if you guys do want to get into Cheesecake Factory, I think now is a perfect time. We see that even Cheesecake Factory is slowing growth, only growing 2 to 3% a year, which with 200 locations, that's only about, 4 to 6 locations a year. But we see that these North Italian Flower Child are going to grow a lot faster. We see their sales per square feet are very similar in all of these restaurants. It's pretty known what these restaurants are going to do. They're pretty confident that they're going to fall between the lines of these average sale rates. So yeah, I'm very confident in this. I really like the number of locations they have, the market potential for all of these locations. And look at how much look at the fiscal year AUVs for North Italia and Flower Child. Times those both. I mean, times this by a lot. Over almost 20. You can times that by. So you're 8xing what Cheesecake Factory does. I mean, oh my gosh. And then this you can times the 7 million, you can times by almost 5. I mean, you're talking about 35, and then you're talking about 80 million. You have $100 million, where right now it's barely 20. So that's a 5x. So I think that Cheesecake Factory is going to 5x in these departments. It'll take a while, that's for sure. But I mean, that's why we're investing in it. That's why it's a great stock to get into right now. The future revenue opportunity, you see that right there, $5 billion revenue growth potential. I see that happening for sure. I think Cheesecake Factory really just needs to hone in on their branding and with their stock, making sure everyone knows that it is not just the Cheesecake Factory. There's multiple restaurants behind the scenes in this, and there's a lot more going on than just the Cheesecake Factory brand. So that's all I have for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also like the video. I really appreciate your guys' support. We're dropping daily content every single day. Talk about a new stock, a move in the portfolio, an options play, maybe ETF, something along those lines. So yeah, if you are into finance, be sure to stick around, and we're going to make a new video every day. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.